Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm LBJ. You're there and I'm here, and you're listening to the Heartfelt Truth. Welcome. Let me start off by saying, as I always do, and I hope you never get tired of me saying it, but I hope my voice finds you in good health, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Not necessarily in that order, but all equally important to help us do this thing we call life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me start off by saying thank you. Thank you for allowing me to come into your life for the next few minutes. I hope you find my voice somewhat inspirational, a little motivational, and just gives you another way of looking at things. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, not one of my big habits, but I actually was just kind of looking at some of my analytics last night. I am no guru in regards to numbers and all that stuff, but I did see that a bunch of people here and around the world have just jumped in and decided to listen to one of my latest podcasts. And I was looking at it and I was amazed how the spike just kind of spiked up. And I just want to say thank you. And I'm humbled. I had a very, very dear friend of mine who said something which has been resonating in my mind. Not that I've never lived my life that way, but he said, you have to try to live in a constant state of gratitude. And it's always on my mind, and I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful of all the things that are going on in my life, even when things aren't going right. That's the problem sometimes when we have things going on, and if you believe in your higher power, and all the things are great and things are moving in the right direction, they're moving and grooving, everything is good. But when you hit a little bump, a little bruise there, all of a sudden now you kind of get a little doubtful, you get a little unsure of yourself. And what I'm trying to say is that you have to go with the good with the bad. So I just want to pass that on. So I am always grateful. So thank you. That was one of my long thank yous to you guys. But here's the deal. Listen, let me tell you something. Last night, something happened to me, which was, and it can happen to you. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, whatever you do, when you get the opportunity, even when you don't feel like it, even when you think you might have something else more important to do, I'm going to tell you, if it's been a while and you haven't seen your family, your immediate family, and I have to say all family, but if you have a chance to see some of your cousins, your first cousins, and second cousins, please do so, especially if you haven't seen them in a while. And I'm going to give you a short story. What happened to me last night was, I have a very, very dear cousin of mine. And I know someone say, well, how you say dear cousin? I haven't seen her in a while. Life gets in the way and everybody's doing their thing. We don't live in the same town and everything else, so we kind of don't see each other. We communicate. Long story short, her and her husband, okay, they just last night renewed their vows. They've been married and together for 25 years. And I know we always get the big ones. You get the 30 year, you get the 40 year. 25 years sets the mark. 25 years is a good number to say, hey, you know what, we're doing okay. So I was at this thing. So what happened was, I wasn't going to go. And I got to tell you, me and my wife, I said, she says, you got to go to your cousin's thing. I don't want to go. Long story short is, I committed. We sent the invitation back. We went. And I am going to tell you that there were relatives that I haven't seen in years. And it was such a treat, people. I just have to tell you that. I know I'm going to share this one. If you're interested, that's great. If not, you can kind of listen to me going on. But it was such a treat and a pleasure for me to see some relatives I haven't seen in years. And the funny thing for me is, again, it's not a pity party. I mean, we all have, things to deal with in life. Both my parents are not here. And, and I'm okay with that today. We've all, weathered that storm and stuff. But I ran into my cousin, his uncle, and his uncle remembered me. And I mean, this is an older gentleman. This is a senior, and he said, I remember you called me by my first name. And I was like, oh my God. He said, sure, I remember. Then he started talking about my father. And it is special. And then he's talking about when my father was in the Korean War. Now they met into Japan together. And I sat there like a little kid. I'm a grown man. I sat there like a little kid listening to these stories and how he was sharing about my father. And so the point I'm trying to get to is, I know you hear me all the time and I say talk about family and stuff, and it's true. I'm going to stand by that consistently. But he was talking about my father, and I got such a treat. I was like a little kid. I was transformed into a little kid listening to something about my father. And then there was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was a woman that my cousin introduced me, another senior, who used to babysit us when we were kids. And she came over, and I was kind of looking at her, and she said, oh, I remember you, and we talked. And it was just such a, that last night was one of the times when I really, 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 I said to myself, the one thing, I mean, there's a lot of things you can. The one thing I miss about my father is the fact that he was the guy that would introduce you to all the family members that you didn't know. He would make sure that you knew your family. And, hey, this is your cousin, this is a distant cousin. And I miss that. And I was looking at some of the elders that were at the party. And I don't know about you guys, and I hope, that time, when that time comes, you'll understand. But right now, enjoy your family and whatever. But I miss the elders, too, just to listen to their stories and just to see them and the things that they've experienced in their life. The trials and the tribulations, the ups and the downs, and the history of this country and where we live. It's just amazing. Depression and all that kind of stuff. Wars and just stuff. I just found it so interesting. So I know I went off on a tangent there. That actually probably wasn't my topic today, but I wanted to share that. I get on this microphone and I talk to you fine people here and around the world, and I just go off. So please understand. But anyway, the other part of that was I got to see I saw some cousins, and it was special. It really was special. I'm so glad that I went. It's one of those things where you think you didn't want to go, and then my wife looks at me and says, see, I told you. Of course, and you got to deal with that. Yeah, no, you're always right and everything. It was fun. And then I met a family member who happens to be in, the creative field, his wife. I met her, and we were talking, and we casually started sharing. And next thing you know, she tells me she's been in radio for 5 years. She had a podcast. She got all this stuff going on. She's got her own business. She's got all these. And I'm like, oh, my God. I have to tell you, man, it is amazing how the universe works. And it's just amazing how things, and I stand by it, things happen for a reason. They're learning processes. There's you got, like I said, the good and the bad, and even when the things don't go your way, they happen for a reason. I know we don't like it, we don't want to hear it, but they happen for a reason, and myself included. People, I get on this microphone, let me tell you something. You don't want me to start talking and sound like a pity party. We're not going to do that, but we all have something that we have to deal with. And I'm backtracking. So I was speaking to this young lady, and we're going to get together. And you know what I like is that I'm going to learn some stuff from her. She's going to give me a little insight. She wants to set me up already to come to one of her functions. And I'm like, oh my God, it really is a small world. And there are people that are just being so creative and doing their thing. And it leads into what I'm telling you. People, go after your dreams. Do what you were meant to be doing. She was telling me how she was contemplating leaving her job, time, kids, and everything. But she's, got the business going, and she's not really fulfilled here, but she's been on this job for so long. And things happen for a reason. And all of a sudden now she says, by the end of the summer, she's going to be out of that job. She's a little nervous about it, and just things happen for a reason. So it's already, the universe is already shaping stuff for you, and I find it to be amazing. So, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I went off on a tangent. I totally apologize, but I just want to say thank you to all you fine people here and around the world that decide to listen to me and share some of what's going on in my life. I am constantly trying to evolve. I am constantly trying to just keep you in a loop in my life. Let me backtrack real quick too. Is that the little ebook that I have going on? There's been some changes. There's a few little things that I'm tweaking right now. So please be patient with me. I know, and if you happen to have even looked at it already, there might be there was some issues in terms of printing and stuff like that. So it really kind of didn't go out the way I want to. But I think if all things are well and the universe has its way today, I should be on track by tomorrow. So let's. I don't want to keep stringing you along. It's done. I'm looking at it right now. There's the cover. I have the two samples that are sitting right here on my board, and I'm not satisfied with it, and I don't want you not to be satisfied. I do not want to give you a product that is not going to at least represent some of the things that I say and what I do. So, that's it. But that's a reminder that, you have to keep going after, and you have to keep doing what you're doing. So this has to be tweaked up a little bit. So be patient. When I come out and say, listen, guys, good to go, then you're on. I am definitely going to be giving away some of this little pamphlet, this little book. I don't know what to call it because, it's not a big book, I guess, right? It looks like a book. But anyway, that should be definitely in full force, hopefully by the beginning of this week. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I know I went off. I threw a lot at you. I apologize. I'm excited. I met this young lady who was in the radio, and she's writing a book, and she's just like a business-minded person. And I was so excited talking to her, and we sat next to each other. Her husband and my wife were sitting there, all four of us. We're going to get together, definitely. We're going to have dinner. We're going to do something. I'm going to have them at my house. And the cool part about it is there's an extension. Her husband actually is a relative of mine, to my father. So the world's a small place, man. It really is. So, but I will tell you this. Thank you. And I'm a little wired up too because I'm on my second cup of coffee because, I'm a 2-cup guy. So it gets a little crazy. Hold on. God, I love coffee. So anyway, listen, ladies and gentlemen, please take care of yourself. Take care of your families because family's important. And if you see someone that needs a helping hand, stick yours out and try to help them. I believe this one act really, really will make the world a better place. And it's going to be one of those things that help you on your journey to becoming the best person that you were meant to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm LBJ. You're there, and I'm here. And you've been listening to The Heartfelt Truth. We'll talk again.